So that's one of my class ideas is chickens.
All right. I love chickens. I do.
I did a project at Loyalist last year in the charcoal mixed media. So that was going to be the theme is just like drawing and watercolor, similar to the trees next month. So yeah, because I think chickens is like everybody loves them. Whenever anyone's done artwork of chickens, we've done projects, they just turn out well. Rooster's chicken, they just work. Then I wanted to do like my abstracting landscapes class, but with soft pastel.
Okay.
Really want to do mixed media on wood. So it's similar to the trees next month, but it'll be a little, I have to think that one through. There's an artist who's inspired me, and I will give you his name. I'll have to type it in because I can't quite say it. I'll pronounce it. And then a plein air. I mean, we won't be plein airing, we'll be inside, but it'll be like talking about doing oil studies under 8x10. And then even mini ones, I want to talk about like how to do small works, because that's been an interesting conversation, even, just in comments and whatnot with your posts in the group, is that something small was almost more challenging because of all of the like limited space, how to get the detail. And I really enjoy those challenges. So that's one of and then the other idea is the wipeout, sort of like going back to that traditional, the wipeout oil painting method and doing alla prima. So painting quickly. Mm-hmm. Which to me all goes together, the plein air. So I might do like, like a bundle thing.
All right.
And then I'm open to I have like a lot of other lists, but these are the things that I'm like, ooh, right now. So Stacy, let's start with, you had sent me some examples. Where did you get those examples? Were those yours?
Those are mine.
Okay, so may I share them?
Oh yeah. Not a truck. So I took Jalen's Germany trip, some of those photos, and then a trip to Chicago. And I put, so I just put the photos in Procreate, and then just moved everything around and traced over and did quick, like,
cool.
So that photo is from, the Pechstein, 1971. So his piece of artwork, I took out like the red house and I put the tall buildings because I liked them because they're curvy, and then the dotted stuff is reference to Van Gogh. Is that how you say it?
Van Gogh. It's okay.
Van Gogh.
Van Gogh or whatever, but don't worry. It's fine.
One of his paintings, and then the Chicago sign, and then the lion is a statue outside of the Chicago Institute of Arts. And then the whole reason for the trip is we went to a soccer game because our friend was roughing and it was his 50th birthday. So that little mark on the lion. And then Giordano's is where we celebrated his birthday. And then the Bean, Chicago's big. Do you guys know about the Bean? No. It's a huge sculpture in Chicago. It's huge.
It's fun.
But yeah, so then I just put all so the bean and the lion in the original painting are actually bushes. The Chicago sign is actually a tall tree. So
you use the artist's work for composition?
Yes.
Love it. I think that's brilliant, Stacy. And you do have a very strong connection to making symbolic works. I mean, we've seen that with your Kahlo portrait. And so is this this one
So those
seems a
are,
little bit more random. Did you just?
yeah. So I just, things that the photos that Jalen sent me that I thought I could maybe put together.
Mhm.
Like, the little circle sign is because she was standing in the mountains between Austria and Germany. And then that was they went to a lot of churches. So one of the churches, and then that house they saw on the lake, and it was just, a German house. And I thought it was cool looking. And then where that tower is, I can't remember what she called it. It was a tree. Like in the photo, there's a tree right there. So I put that there.
What's this little guy?
That is just a figure that was in snow up in the place that they went to. And I just thought he was fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was on the wall. And then the Albrecht Dürer, she took a picture of that in one of the cathedrals.
Yeah.
There. So I just kind of put them kind of together in a. I don't know if it would work out as I'm, drawing and putting stuff in, but those were the thoughts that I had. But then I was like, is it simplified or?
Yeah. So that's the next step for just one way to look at it. And it seems to me, because there's so many different elements, it is probably better off as you've done it more thought out and actually well placed. But in the spirit of travel and putting together combinations of things, the photos, the fact that we're all here on Zoom and using photos, it puts a little bit of a bump in the road for me, because I'd like us to be able to think this way in the moment as you go forward anywhere you are. And in that, you have your sketchbook and you come across, coming up to the museum, and you squiggly, because you can squickle. You throw in the museum, and then as you are in there and you see the Albrecht Dürer, then you continue on with a little bit of a reminder, like a hint of it, right? How much do you need for it? Do you need the whole thing, right? Maybe it's just his signature, because it's you got a really great signature. And then you see the tower, and then so it's sort of things that are, if you think about, like storyboarding.
Okay.
So that's just how I've done it in the past traveling. And so I love this. This is something you're probably better at than I am, is to actually like put things together. And yet I must say that the fish market in Tokyo, that is what you had done, Cece, is sort of where I was thinking of going today, because I wanted to put key things that are my memories that nobody would ever find. And they went to the fish market because it's like, huge.
Right.
Just the booth and the fella who served sushi and was just like, sushi, anyone want sushi? Like, just so that it's for me. And then there's that big fish sign. And then the knives that cost like $1,000, like just little things that that would be better to put into a composition. And today I pulled out ink, because that's been really working the past couple of weeks as we've been exploring different medium. So that's what I was thinking of working on. And Stacey, I think you're set for like choosing one of those, and then just now we'll help each other, but I'll help to how to approach that with minimalism out of Procreate. And Alec, what's on your studio desk?
Yeah, so I have photos of mostly a park in Mexico. So there's a fountain there with coyotes. So I have many angles of that same fountain. That was a place I used to meet. And not in that fountain, but that building back in the background here, there's a restaurant. So that's where I would meet like most of the time with friends to go. So yeah, I have many angles of the coyotes that I want to be roaming,
Mm-hmm.
and also the flowers that are in that area, like a lot of the bougainvillea.
Great. Okay, this is fantastic. We're ready. We are ready. Okay, material wise, Alec, ink has been working for you, ink and watercolor. What did you pull out this morning? That was
Yeah, I have ink, charcoal, and watercolor.
nice. Okay.
I was going to attempt the watercolor and the watercolor pencils. I have to get those out.
Yes, like
Trying to do just the color and then going in with the pencils afterwards and making more.
like Irina. Yes.
Yes, I was going to attempt that.
I love that.
I may practice in a sketchbook a few times.
Yeah, let's start with our sketchbook. And I think that is essential to just keep it simple. So whether it's charcoal or graphite pencil or whatnot, or ink. And gotta pull out my thumbnails here. I want to actually do two, but I will just start this morning with the goal, and that is that by the end of class, I'd like to at least have one thing where you feel confident that it's either whether or not it's like, oh, this is done, I nailed it, or that you're at least like, okay, you know what, I'll still give it another go or two. But just with the fact of life and scheduling, I'd like to make the most of the time here and really say, if we can, that we've completed that idea today. I know that out of the other classes, I was looking back and I thought really the only thing that worked for me was one piece. I'm happy with that. But if there's anything from the previous classes you'd like to talk about today, please just bring it up, shout it out, because I'd like for you to feel resolved in the other works as well. Yeah, I'd like to do that pine, that 300-year-old pine, and then the fish market.
Okay, let's see.
I'm going to look for the digital photos of these. I might have to actually print them out larger now that I was like seeing what Alec had to reference. Do you have a different device, Stacy, or?
I have my phone I was going to bring it up on, but I may. Let's see if I can.
As long as you can look at it separately. I can't. I'm using all my tech for screens, so I will quickly print these out. Okay. As I'm printing these out, I'm like, you know what? All of this, a thought put into these memories. Again, if you're still very interested in them, trying them in other media like oil painting could be a very cool thing. Because you'll have put in the work for the compositional elements or the what's the word I'm looking for? The conceptualization of it, right? Of like, oh, it's not just working from one photo. It actually has all this meaning. And like, really, I did anticipate doing that, but not for the reason of that. Now it's just hitting me. I'm like, oh, because I want to do this tree. I want to do it very minimally, but then, yeah, I think something like pastel. I'm starting to think about larger works. And why would I start something completely new? Yeah.
Right.
So we'll see.
Let's see.
I'll start with the fish market, but I'll demonstrate. I also want to talk about how it's like using multiple photos that support one that's not right, one that has most of what you need, but not everything. Which is what I had thought of for this pine tree. Why I took all those different photos was for this kind of planning.
So you've had this in your mind for a while then?
Over a year. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't at this park. I'd have to look at my maps to see which park this was, but Alex been there too. You might remember. It wasn't like I was there and I was like, oh, I want to do a class on this. No, it's just that in my mind, I don't always take photos for references. Sometimes I take photos for the memory. And then I go, oh man, I don't remember that I didn't take a photo. So it was one of those few times for me where I was like, I don't understand this tree that I'm looking at. I need to take multiple photos, even if the photos are ugly. They're going to help me draw it out. Let me see what I sent here.
Yeah.
Hi, honey. Do you want a sweet potato? Oh my God. I love this thing. So I still don't understand what it is.
It was just
it's a cat, Alec. It's this creature. It looks like graffiti of some kind.
Yeah, and they went through like because it was all snow and it looked like the building was made out of snow.
Oh.
And then it had a couple different art pieces like that. Very simple, just lined, but they were glowing. So Jalen snapped a couple pictures and sent it to me.
So funny. Yeah, I love little creatures like that.
Yeah.
That actually look like probably bacteria. Like do a whole series and name them. Yeah. Have you ever seen those little, like, the microscope photos of, like, endorphins? And they actually look like they're smiling.
Mm-mm.
Oh my gosh, guys. Okay, well, hold on. Or like grass when they do
Yeah.
yeah, like almost x-ray of grass or something, and it's close up. You're like, what are those water bears? Like the water bears, like that to me is like these little creatures that we don't even have to make them up. They exist.
We went Marty and I went to at MSU, they have a what's it called? The Science Festival.
Oh yeah.
And it's for like the main is for a weekend, but then they have other things throughout the month of April. And they have like just tables set up, and you go through and you walk through and you can learn just all sorts of stuff. And one of them was an entomology table. And the person manning the table, they had a microscope set up, and so you could see all the little water bugs, and one of them was that. But the way they described the bugs, I was like, if I was younger and you were describing, like, I came to this booth, I probably would be an entomologist. I'm like, you're just that good. Like, what do you want to do in your life? Because this needs to be it. You need to be people about bugs. And they were like, yep, I think this is what I want to do. And I'm like, perfect. Because
I would have loved to have been an entomologist.
Perfect.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
The Joan Miro has a series, constellations, that have like very like critters. It's hard to see.
Oh yeah.
That looks like Paul Klee or Kandinsky. Wait, who is that?
Joan Miro.
John Miro. Of course, yes.
So she has a whole series of all these like really
Constellations.
Yes.
I like it.
Yeah, they're pretty funky. They're very small. They're like this, and
what's the medium? Is it oil?
Watercolor and wash and ink. So yeah, he uses the wash very heavily for the big blocks.
Yeah, it's so dreamy.
Mm-hmm.
That's another. Oh, that is another class that I was gonna maybe do Kandinsky, Klee, and like Miro. Fun, kind of like the abstraction of the initial abstractionists that got into symbolism. But to me, I have to figure out like where that would sit for results of artwork instead of just researching and enjoying, their oddity and their getting to know about the artist. But when I was looking up Kandinsky from last week, I was like, ooh, he's so neat. Okay, so and then these kind of thoughts should be really, really quick. Okay, I'm going to stick with charcoal because it's efficient. I'm going to play around with the idea of maybe different crops. So just as without like not needing to overthink it, I'm just going to be like, okay, this is that fish. And then there's like a little sign there. I don't need all the other stuff, just getting it in my mind to simplify. I don't need the building and things like that. Coming into where would this, because it was so busy, the stream of people, right? And I can just put in little sticks for people right now, having for some perspective. I can't have the fish market without the people. That's just not how it works. In my photo, I didn't really I actually have other photos, but just to use these two, that there's things that I don't have in here, but I know were true. So I can start to put in similar kind of perspective, just like the Portugal night scene, or just pushing things back, notan wise, of what kind of space. If these are all people and it's all complicated in here, then I could really quiet. Just I could keep the sky quiet, and I could really push some shadows. And then what would that look like if it was in portrait style? And again, doing it very quick. And then what about trying it the other way? What if I was over here looking this way? So just giving a different feeling. Does it it's all about, is it capturing the feeling? Because I was there. It's not about this photo. That's just where my mind is for this one. And then there was this statue dude of a sushi chef, and he was really funny, and it would be cool if he was maybe here. I have a photo of it somewhere. I'd have to find it, but it would be really cool if he was there. Oh, and I like these banners. And where could I put these banners? You ate that already? Actually, okay. I'm gonna try 2 more. Yeah, you chew. Eat your chew. Come here. I can't give you all the snacks. You're being a little piglet. Eat this. Come on, get it. Okay. Go get it. I hear you. I hear you. Where's your Lammy? Alec, if you wanted to send in the chat or text me your photos, then I can play with your composition as well.
Right.
I have, if they're not handy, don't worry about it. You could even
Let me see if I can find them. Let me see.
You could even take photos of your printouts.
Okay.
Yeah, take one photo of them all there, and because I can zoom in. And then when Stacy's back, I don't really need her reference photos, but I can take what she's done in Procreate and show how to simplify that. Go get it. Go get it. Go get it. Yeah. So, because he's not been feeling so well, he was sleeping most mornings. Now he is not. He's also getting older.
Sorry, my son popped home, so.
Nice. That's okay. I was gonna, so I've asked Alec to send me her references.
Yeah, I just did.
Got one, got two. And then Stacy, I have your drawings from Procreate, which is all I really need to show more simplification with a different media and the essence of things. Because I think what you have right now with those two pieces, especially the colorful one, the Chicago one, that is such a great composition already. Even the color blocking, that's ready for, say, painting. But where I'd like to focus today is how much detail do you really need, even if you were to go in and do the painting?
Right.
Is it going to be all like high detail lines and lots of stuff like we've done in the past, or is it going to be a little bit more free and simple? So I've got my watercolor pencils as well, and we'll talk about that.
Okay.
I did invite Naomi to share her work with me, and if she's not able to in the Facebook group, but she's okay with it, I will share anything that she's worked on. I will check in with Heather later, and let's just send a collective good vibe to Christine out in Scandinavia.
Hope she's having lots of fun.
I hope she's safe.
Yeah. What's going on out in Scandinavia?
I don't know. Just travel in general.
Oh, okay.
The world in general, Stacey.
True.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to jinx it by no, I haven't looked. I don't want to know. Just hope she's safe. An artist that I don't think's been in any Zoom classes, but I know her well in the area here. She was in Morocco. Was it Morocco? Yeah. No, Turkey. Yeah. And she was having just such a great time. But again, I'm like, I've heard stories about traveling and just like tourists being prime targets. And like, of course, Donna has to look like really well off European lady. Like sometimes it's good to go a little low key.
Yeah, when I travel, I normally just wear my band anyways. Because I did research for a long time, so I just got used to not wearing anything bulky on my fingers.
Which is good, yeah.
But yeah, I don't wear any jewelry or anything like that.
Okay, I'm downloading your pics, Alec.
Yeah.
Are you still looking, or is that all of them?
That's all of them. There's some. I'm looking for like the place that I ended up going is a restaurant that has a cool logo.
Oh, okay. So you're like Googling the restaurant?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. I like it. All right.
Thank you. All right.
Okay, my photos here, and okay, so I'm not screen sharing because I'd rather the camera on my sketchbook. But I'm looking through, I'm trying to get a sense. This is more for composition because I wasn't there. I don't have the memory, but to look at what stands out. I think because of the width of the coyotes, it's probably better to do horizontal to start.
Mm-hmm.
And if the restaurant is important, let's just think about the hot spot for a second and consider it to be somewhere either here or here.
Mm-hmm.
And then so the flowers can be fill-ins. I like the sun that's part of the fountain as well.
Yeah, I like that.
It's beautiful, mosaic sun. So if we look at, if I was there sitting there in this park waiting for my friends, I more than likely wouldn't be drawing the whole circle of the fountain. It would be just the key wolf that catches your eye, whichever one that is. Okay, so I'm just going to silhouette that because that would be more than likely darker. There's some really nice line work that you can get out of that sculpture. Oh, I made him look really mad, but whatever. Just gonna get a brush and scrub that out to create just a simple marker of space. And that actually is really quite nice. And I see the restaurant over there, but that's okay. We're going to put it over here. And is it the owls?
Yeah, they're cool, eh?
Yes, so cool. So here we go. This could be interesting. Do you really need the restaurant or?
I think just the owls.
Yeah, so let's check out. Yeah, there's tons of trees. And okay, so compositionally, let's put in. This is all trees. You can have a hint of that restaurant or whatnot, but it would be kind of cool just to have those owls here. And try and make that coyote look less mad because it's looking right at the owls. And then to bring in. So this is where using that fountain as a circle to kind of create movement and some direction in there coming into flowers. Now, just for what it's worth, thinking that if you play with a little bit of watercolor splatters and didn't intentionally put in the fountain like like that, if you just were like, oh, your friends arrived, you got to move it, you got to meet them, and just practice some splatters just to capture that essence. I think that would be really, really, really interesting, and leaving a lot of space. Depending on your surface, you could even leave that. So if you're moving away from washi, it could be well, maybe just kind of consider what surface. There's nothing wrong with leaving white paper, but perhaps if everything was cool, like the coyote, the water, and then just like warmth, like little shots, because it does look like a clear day. I think so. But like, you do not need to draw trees. So this has always been on my mind for this class is, that you don't need to put in those details. You do not need to draw the trees. All you would really need is a hint of color.
Mm-hmm.
And because it's a park, perhaps that green just continues just like so. Like that whole top area is green. And then in the logo, those owls are red, which is kind of cool. So and have them more layered. I mean, that's getting interesting. Mm-hmm. And then I would still do this thumbnail again, but without the blocking in heavy. So I would then consider the medium.
Mm-hmm.
So the watercolor ink, and maybe start with watercolor to keep it very light and just block in with the color first and then see what kind of line works. I'd actually maybe do the reverse. Let's just do a quickie of that.
Now, if you're actually like out in your, on location and you're doing your memories,
Yes.
you don't have time to figure out how, so what do you do then?
Haha. Fantastic question. Because you're doing this work now, you will be doing better compositional work on the spot as you travel.
Aha.
Will it be every time? No, because that has to do with also your state of mind and, your time and the weather and everything, but it will come naturally, like where you're thinking about it for the most, minimal amount of time. Because I certainly do as I'm working. So I'll put down, say I'm waiting and I start to do the coyote because I'm waiting and I'm sitting near the waterfall, because we all decided to meet there and I only got the coyote in. Well, then after, when I leave and I'm like, oh, I want to put the date and the logo and some other things that were key. Or I just, I still have some time because I'm waiting again for something else. Then you're still looking at how to bring that in and around the coyote. So it's in the moment, and it may be that you're accepting the composition in a way that you always wanted to, and you're not being so hard on yourself because it's spontaneous. So this is where we have more time, almost too much time to contemplate and then like revise and revise. But because of that, you'll be more accepting and making better decisions in the moment. I mean, the flowers, to me, for example, I wouldn't even be putting in flowers. I would probably just with watercolor put in a couple of marks, and because the flowers that day were pink.
Yeah, the color striking.
Right. And then, so that could also lead you to medium, Alec, is like, what pencil or watercolor are you choosing? Is quinacridone too violet? So, does the soft pastel stick that I have, that I'm in my studio and I have that, is that the better color? Because it's about the color, and doing a gestural line, line contour of the flowers in a couple areas could be so beautiful. And all you need but to do them in a charcoal pencil would be almost sacrilegious, too harsh. It's not about the color, and it's not about, in that sense, why you even need them if you're not if you're not hitting it soft. Um, the light coming through that petal, like it's. If I would say that's another way to let go of something. If you can't capture it, then don't bother. Leave it out. But here would be, to me, an underlying composition for that one. Without the line work, it's this to me is like, okay, that's a good composition.
Mhm.
And when that dries, maybe going in with an ink brush and actually looking at how the angles of that coyote. Which one was it? It wasn't that one. This one. The angles, so that I'm getting the beauty of that sculpture without having to labor and get all of the hairs and whatnot.
Mhm.
So that is where I think the work comes in. And do you need to outline, like if you're using ink, do you need to outline everything because there's light hitting the top? So in that's where we talk about foiling. And that the green would create that edge. I'll just bring that up to the camera there. Here. I have a new arm for my camera, but if I move it, it shakes. And it's annoying. And then the last arm that I had, I could move it easily, but it was made of metal. And then the more I moved it, the more this arm would break at the axis of where it where it was anchored into the table. And so there's just like never anything that's just perfect, man. I'm just like, okay, whatever. So tired of it's like, did I upgrade or do I just have something different? Is that okay for now, Alec?
Yes.
Great. And so I'm going to pull up. I'm going to leave the watercolors out. And then I'll use the watercolors and colored pencils for Stacy's. And then I think I'll also use that for the fish market. I was going to do ink, but kind of liking color now that it's out. All right. Which one are you wanting to work on first, Stacey?
I was going to do the Germany one, just because the building is more of a challenge. I'm not comfortable with buildings. So practicing with the watercolor and the watercolor pencils.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I saved your images, but they came in.
Do you want me to resend them or?
Sorry, it's just, you know how it saves in your iPhoto on the day that you sent it, and it was when.
Oh, yeah.
So it's the cathedral, the Albrecht Dürer.
Yeah.
And the cathedral. Okay. So, let me just think this through, because you used photos underneath to get the angles, right?
Right. Yeah. So,
which is awesome. I love Procreate for that. I really do. Like it's a tool. It's not a cheat. Now, if for the record, if you're ever in the street drawing a building, start it because it's of interest to you, and that's obviously why you would have started, to draw, but never stress about finishing it. You could always go back to it. Just hear my voice when that happens, because I've been there, and it's one of those wonderful things that will lure you back to your sketchbook when you're back at the hotel, or even after your trip. You'll be like, oh my God, I have to finish it, because so it's before you have to like up and run, just take a snapshot. And yeah, because architecture, even minimally, takes a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine. But when Irene does it, it's like boop, boop, boop.
No, it takes her a long time.
Well, that's probably because I'm watching the replay that's, in fast motion.
In class, Irene is slow.
Oh, you mean I'm watching the 20-second reel of the whole thing.
When you're watching it, always feels fast.
Yeah.
I shall remind you that Irene is like an insomniac and doesn't sleep. So she does a lot of her work at night.
Oh, I was talking about the artist that does the
Irina.
Yeah.
Oh, pardon me. Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh yeah. I mean, that's probably sped up like 5 times.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Yeah, and she just did a reel about meditating while you're doing this, and so there's no way it's fast. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to stay in my sketchbook to just kind of get a handle of the composition. Now I see that you left this one quite minimal in color. Is that in representation of Germany, or?
It is a white building with like a grayish, greenish roof.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and then, but all around everything else.
Yeah, it was. I can send you the photo. It's just a sky with the trees on one side in the background. Would it be easy to see in chat?
Oh yeah. Well, text. Yeah. No, do chat so Alec can see as well. Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't matter though. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So this is square, for the most part.
Oh.
Beautiful. Yeah, there's your color palette. That makes sense. Okay. All right. So that's so here's a quick run through for you both, like of doing architectural works in the moment, or without a ruler, or without a guide. Okay. So what you've already established. I just gotta close this for one moment to look at this. Okay, so I'm just gonna put, okay, this is the tower here, this is the house, although I'm not sold on that. Okay. I actually think Albrecht would be better here, but whatever, it doesn't matter.
Albrecht be better in front of the house or no house or
Yeah. Because the tower could still be there, but then you could still have.
oh, instead of the house.
Well, the house could be still where it is. I'll do this. Okay. I'll do this quickly with thanks. So I've sketched out very generally where something is, and that is good. Like, here's the cathedral, here's the dome. And so when you are sketching out with a pencil, don't worry about, doing the whole geometrical shapes. So you've got your leading lines, your angles. You know that no matter what, you're going to have some absolutely horizontal, but this has a nice curve to it in there.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll just start with, okay, so this is just a gestural line of what to me looks so much like the CN Tower.
Yeah.
At first I thought it was. Okay, now I'm gonna go back to Zoom and pull up. It won't let me actually download this cathedral, so I'm just going back to it. All right, so I've got the sense of where the dome is, and so to do what would be like a gestural line is to consider. So we actually did this with the Taj Mahal. The absolute important bits. And so if you're doing, say, this is the spire, you need both sides. No, you do not. You need to know where it ends. I'm going to connect. And then we've got some really cool edging here that it does not need to be perfect at all. You've got your swoop, and this is going to go off online and come up. And then we've got a really cool. So I'm actually mostly looking at the image. I would, since you're so like detail oriented, instead of the details of the cathedral, do the details of what actual time it is. Things like that are a little bit more meaningful. It's just a suggestion. But because this is white stone, I think less is more. And then perhaps something like one of the statues. And then coming in. Putting in the darks because they anchor. And knowing that you're going to bring in watercolor is actually less is so like this. This whole idea of bringing watercolor and color pencils is with ink. It's kind of nice because it's permanent, but it really makes me want to leave white of the paper.
Okay.
For me, that was a good choice. It may not be for you, but I kind of
love. Yeah. I tried it with just the watercolor brush and color pencil for this, and it just wasn't working because it dried too fast for all the just even the basic outlines. So
coming in. Okay, so it's a very overcasty sort of situation. So let me get kind of grayish. Okay, so coming in, not worrying about the cat hair or cutting in. And again, this is just in my sketchbook, so the paper is not really like happy with the watercolor, but going in with the sky first when it comes to something like this allows you, the color especially, it allows you to then come into the building and start to say, okay, which are the shadow sides underneath here.
Hmm.
And there's some cool kind of like trees back in there that it's not getting detailed. What it's going to do is frame and then this was, oh, this is kind of greeny.
Yeah, it's like a grayish greeny color. Photo.
Yeah, I like it. And I'm not getting the right color. And so that could be something, you know, that bugs you, or, you know, you have to kind of consider, is it really important? Because if color mixing is important to you, then that should be.
Yeah.
So this is too green. It should be more blue. Like it's a very grayish teal. It's oxidized copper on a gray day. But now that I've got this yellow oxide on my brush, I'll come in and I'll start to look at, okay, well, I can, you know, oh, I liked that house, that German house. Maybe that those trees that I'd started to put in back here, maybe they come in as well. And even like just to create, just to anchor. And then I'm going to just try it out where it's like, okay. Ooh. And then that is definitely where I think getting to a point like this is where bringing out the colored pencils and saying, okay, get it brown while that's wet. And then what's interesting about that architecture to you is that I'm guessing that roof.
Yeah, and the lines in the roof, because it's just, you know, says Germany.
Mm-hmm.
In the orange shutters.
Yeah. But do they need to be like perfect shutters, or do you just need to have
Just the
indication there? So that's where it's going to be good for you to think about that, to loosen up. And that's a personalized loosen up, right? So you can come back in after and actually like So while things are wet, I think it's more about color, and it's going to keep you loose.
Yeah. And it's a good, watching you do this is a good reminder, because in my mind, like, I would have had to done all watercolor and colored pencils, but you're right, the ink lends itself better, or the brush pen, I should say.
Or even just like an actual technical like yeah, even just an actual pen, just for getting that continuous line that you can obviously get with colored pencils, but it's different. It's different. And then, yeah, so this is the brown one. I'll take this up. I mean, you can stick with your composition of the figure here, but I'm just thinking about mimicking that tower. Some color over there. And then, I want to find, I wish I had that toothpaste color, but you said he was neon?
Yeah, like a that bright green, wasn't it? No, I didn't find a color that I had of.
Yeah, it's like a toothpastey, but it's the contrast that makes them look neon. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So get out some charcoal and yeah, okay, let's just do chartreuse. That goes with the palette. And okay. So putting him.
But then I was thinking, everything that I have, is that just too much?
I mean,
too many things?
I quite like it just as it is. Oops. Ooh. Oh, that's kind of cool. Because my paper is just like not meant for watercolor, but it actually feels like it made that neon thing pretty. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry though. Or, oh, maybe, you know what? I'm just gonna go with it. Okay, I'm gonna take this and then I'm gonna.
Is that charcoal?
It is water soluble carbon.
Oh, okay.
And I'm just not worried about it looking neon because
Right.
there is neon behind it. Like it's just super subtle. I just thought I'll make him be like he's like standing on everything.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I love that.
And then you have this one other element that I'm actually just not sure what it is, and it's right above it's in the upper right corner.
It is just a sign. Let me see.
Of the cathedral?
Um, no, it is. Let's see if I can. There we go.
Oh, you're sending it?
I sent it in chat.
Okay.
So I don't know what it means, but it's just a sign that they took of themselves.
Okay.
So it's the kind of like where Austria and Germany meet.
And which is neat. It is. It's very, very, very neat. Okay. So I have an idea here. It's subtle. It's very subtly gray. Just thinking about the space in here. And then 2, 9, 5. I mean, this is just a sketch, right? This isn't like I would have actually preferred to have done this on like a watercolor piece of paper, but sometimes this is what happens is you're in your sketchbook, and so you're supposed to have a good mixed media sketchbook. I like this paper for so many things. I actually like the way watercolor sits on it, but it does buckle like crazy. So, it could be up here, it could be here. Really, there's no good or bad, right or wrong there, but just to see how it feels more incorporated. And then there's like an atom situation over here.
Uh-huh.
Was that like the sciencey part?
No, it's just what was in front of the CN Tower looking building. So there
in front of it. Okay.
Yeah, so
in that, I would just say, so when we think about composition in the moment, say you're there, or not you, say just you were there, okay? But to take this blue that's over here and then to bring that in over here, so that that's how you would make decisions in the moment, to say, I've got an opportunity here to balance that out. And then, like, to me, I mean, some stuff was wet, right? So not drawing, but like, if like, to me, this would feel like a finished thing. I changed some stuff on you. It actually works if you had it all on this side. You had it kind of like right heavy.
okay.
I was just more like, use that space to cluster this, because this is kind of nice on its own. And
Okay.
this house, it can handle all this other stuff. That's the only reason why I wanted to try it there.
Okay.
But the back and forth of media is probably what I would play with for you right now, is not committing to, I got to finish this before getting to that. This is now, nope, that watercolor is wet. Get out those pencils.
Okay.
That's wet, and I want to have more control with a pen. Gotta wait. Okay, where else do I go now? I want to make this edge look light. Oh, I'm going to bring in the watercolor now to do the background and behind. And so allow your train of thought to be led more by the media, because you have your composition, and yeah.
All right.
And here I was thinking I was going to get through all the treats with Toshi, but I still have one left over and he's sleeping.
Oh, yay. All right,
How's
now
it going, Alec?
I need to go find my pen.
I started trying a few more, trying several thumbnails of different variations.
Yeah, is there one that you're drawn to? Here, let me replace this one. Wonderful. Oh gosh. Oh,
Oh, wow.
oh my goodness. Oh, there's something about those bottom three in the third line, all three of, especially the first one. And I know in a thumbnail it's hard because you got to think bigger. You got to really flesh it out. But which is speaking to you out of all of those?
Right. Well, this one's speaking to me. Like it's a lot simpler, but still gets the memory there.
Mm.
But I also like the double, that having the two coyotes there.
You can incorporate the two of them. I think the green, just bring in the green into the second one because the color feels, it captures the park and the owl, and it is not overcomplicating it at all. And you can see that in the first thumbnail. So yeah. Bring the elements you like from the second one and just play with a little dash of green. That's the only thing missing for me because it really weighs that top left corner in a nice way.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have been playing with the form of the coyote in the top two, which is fantastic. I love the variegated lines, the thin to thick. And so perhaps do not a thumbnail, but just the next step is to use your ink pen to do a study of the face of the coyote so that you feel really confident about the angles. And we have done wolves and coyotes in classes before. So this is where, just gonna go right down here. This is where what really matters is going to be, I actually already did it here, is going to be the shape of the snout and the face. It's what separates a coyote from a dog. And you've been through that before.
Oh yes,
I was there. You're doing great with the idea.
Thank you.
The whole thing, yeah. But yeah, just as long as you feel comfortable with that ink pen and getting the angles, and just check in and say, hey, what do you guys think? This little neon guy reminds me of Gremlins. And I was watching Gremlins last night, ironically.
I love that movie.
I forgot it was a Christmas movie, Alex. Seriously. Like, it just, I'm like, oh my God, it's sort of like Die Hard, you know? Is it a Christmas movie? Yes, it is.
So Gremlins 2 is so funny. Maybe I just fond of it. It was on TV so much.
Yeah,
Both
it was. I remember watching it a lot when I was young, and I really enjoyed it. It's been decades since I've seen it, and it was just one of those, oh, you know, I'll pick something I'm familiar with so that I don't have to pay much attention. But I was like super into it.
I don't remember liking it. I haven't seen it in years.
I could see how you could also not like it. I mean, especially it's so dated, like the part when all like after the swimming pool, when the Mohawk gremlin jumps into the swimming pool and it starts to like bubble, and you know there's going to be like hundreds of these little buggers, and they start like terrorizing the town. They're literally just dolls and puppets hanging from strings. Like, it is, the effects are so bad now.
And the music's super cheesy.
I think it's because I was a scaredy cat as a child, and I was scared of the movie, so I never like rewatched it. Like, it wasn't a thing.
Well, it was pretty horrific. I mean, when the mom like kills 3 of them in the kitchen, showing the power of appliances, you know, with 3 of them in 3 minutes, basically. Like, hi, did you read that already? Oh my God. Like, it's pretty gruesome. You know, green guts everywhere. Like,
It was not my cup of tea.
yeah, fair enough. I like it because no, look at your baby. Look at your baby. Come here, sit. Come here, sit. You know, you sit, stay. Or you can go upstairs. Choose. I know he doesn't speak English, but you know, I have to have a conversation. Yeah, but Stacey, the horror movies these days I can't do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I'll take Gremlins. I mean, at the time I also was like you. I was like, ah! But I mean now, oh my God, no.
I can watch vampire movies.
Well,
and that's
not real.
No, but like, I mean, neither is Gremlins.
Vampires are sold as sexy. Gremlins are gross.
Like, I haven't seen, what is it? The new one.
Vampire?
Nosferatu?
Yeah, Nosferatu. Dracula, he wasn't really sexy in that movie. Like the one from
when not when he's like, in his domain and he's like, all creepy, but when he's out in public, he is damn sexy and fine and wearing like the nicest clothes. And I'm going with the Dracula, like from our time, like not the new one. I
yeah.
haven't seen Nosferatu, but what's the actor who plays him? When he's wearing his top hat and he's walking about and he's like talking to Mina, in her head and stuff. I mean, oh, he's fine.
Okay.
That's true, but I guess so. What would you consider scary that you can't do now?
Like ritualistic, like there's movies about building a town on like things that actually could be true. I can't do. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, no. Building communities on top of like burial sites, no.
Yeah, that's a no for me too.
Hexes, like witchcraft, curses, no.
Demons, no.
Yeah, no. I because I ran into something on like reels, you're scrolling reels, and it was about horror movies. I sent it to a friend because they like them, but then because I stopped to bloody send that, I now am getting I had to sign off. It was fine, I was tired anyway, but like how that it's like, oh, you want more? No. So it was like, oh, here's YouTube's top 10 scariest movies, and all I know is the imagery that I saw, that it's an image thing. Like visually, I know it's not real. But it's the visual thing. Like if there's like someone opening a box and then a little creepy face comes, I won't sleep at night.
Yeah.
I really dislike like during Halloween that there's all the movies and you just get the trailers popping up in autoplay. Like why?
Yeah, and I can't do ghost stuff either.
Yeah, well, thankfully, a lot of ghost movies are stupid. So if it's stupid, I can do it. Like if something is really more slapstick, like
Ghostbusters.
Yeah, or like if when someone talks about it being gory, it's like trying to be funny with spaghetti sauce being splattered across the room. Then I can do it, but I guess like it has to have a comedic element or something. But a good movie that I did watch recently is called Goodrich. I believe it's Goodman or Goodrich, and it's about an art dealer. He runs a gallery, and he's twice married, so he's got two different ages of kids. And the movie is about being a good parent, and it had just a nice moral to the story about being present, making different decisions. It was I think it's new, and I watched that recently and really enjoyed it. And it's like a drama, so it's safe. Yeah, are you done? By the way, I did try to watch Nosferatu.
The new one?
Yeah. And I didn't end up paying much attention because it is literally word for word script, scene by scene of Dracula with
Gary? Is it Gary Coleman?
That's it. Thank you.
Gary Oldman, yeah.
Oldman, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It's scene for scene, word for word. Yeah.
That's disappointing.
Yeah. Now it might have evolved and went its own direction with some scenes, but because it was so like I stopped I lost interest. So I don't I can't say that it is like that for the whole thing, but it is definitely at the beginning. And I was immediately like, well, when you grow up with something and you really like a movie, like if I didn't like the other Dracula, then I'd be like, woohoo. So it's I guess for the next generation, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, that to me is the only reason why it'd be worth to remake things like Carrie. They did that scene for scene, word for word as well. And it's like, I'm sorry, it's not for me. It's for the younger people who wouldn't watch the old one.
Mm.
And that's okay. But yeah, I didn't like the new one.
Oh, an experience with Carrie. I went to watch a musical, Carrie the musical.
I didn't know there was one.
It was terrible.
Oh gosh.
But it had it was cool how they managed. It was cool how they managed with a very small budget to get all the final scene with everything flying and falling apart.
Was it a local theater or more of a?
Yeah, it was a local theater.
Well, that's cool of them.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing. Like even the program said, like when the directors, like when we said we were gonna put on the play, what most people's reaction was like, "Is that a thing?" And then why?
Why? Yeah. I mean, Carrie is actually like, it's a really sad story.
It is.
Musicals are supposed to be fun.
Yep. It was an experience.
Well, I mean, good for them for trying something different and being willing to fail. I think that's pretty cool. I watched Kinky. I'd seen the musical Kinky Boots before, but I'd never seen the movie. It's based off of the original musical, I guess. And the movie was really, really good, and I liked it.
Is he howling?
Yes, he is. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're good.
Yeah, he's by my feet, and he's whining.
Oh, okay. Whining.
If
you're not paying attention to him.
There's two things that he wants right now. One is a cuddle. And he's 25 pounds now. So we're getting to a point where like he likes to be on because when he was sick and he couldn't move, I'd put him on my chest to like, and he would stop whining. So I don't know how long that's gonna last. It's really adorable though. I'm gonna have a 100-pound dog crushing my rib cage. But also it's lunchtime.
Oh,
In 5 minutes, yeah. And I've had him on a pretty strict 12 o'clock, which is another reason, you know, how I was telling you guys, like, you know, oh, I was doing 10 to 12 for certain, there's actually multiple reasons. And then one, like, you know, if you want to keep painting, you can. But some of it had to do with just keeping it a little bit cheaper, but also this little guy and moving. And then also I still need to sort out future, if this space is going to work or if I'm going to use, there's another room here that is a lot smaller and it's going to have a kiln in it. And I could very well have just one table and just bring the things that I need. And if I like, oh, I need to go get something, I'm literally just walking into this room to get it. It's not a big deal. It has a door and it's a bit quieter. But so far it's been okay. I mean, you got to let me know if you've ever, I've asked in the past, like, do you hear those little kids, gremlins running around? You know, it hasn't been that bad, but like last night, for example, it was awful. Like there's no way I could have done a class last night. I would have, and everybody would have been like, what? Excuse me. So it's just not professional to have like, I mean, this is an archway door, this room. So it's great.
Can you put like blackout curtains? Would that help more with the noise? You have blackout curtains?
Those are blackout curtains, yeah. It's it's that there's like, I'd have to insulate the whole ceiling here. And get a door that's insulated there. It's because of the living room being above here. And that the kids are young. I mean, you can't ask a 4-year-old to stop running.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't mind kid noises, so.
Fair enough, but there will come a time when there's someone in class who won't be able to concentrate. I can't mute all the time. And then what about me concentrating?
Well, that's true too.
What about me, Stacey? That's what that felt like. What about me? I really don't want to make it out to be an issue. I just really want to be prepared and have alternatives in case, or to be able to, because if I was to go up, like they're not here right now, but if I was to go upstairs and ask them to quiet, it would backfire. They think it's funny and they would get even louder. But I will be doing weekday classes as well, come the fall. And for those who work, yeah. I mean, I might maybe run double. Like I might do like one on a Wednesday and then have the same class on a Sunday or something. We'll see. Or I'll just yeah, we'll see. But weekday classes really work for me because they're in school.
Right.
So I'll hit up the retirees and then keep doing weekend classes. But yeah, it hasn't been as bad as I feared, which is I've been looking at my photos of this tree and this 300-year-old pine, and I think I have to keep working on it, but I think I'm getting somewhere. I have to do it out a couple of times, so I will send that off in the follow-up. And because I really want to rock this tree. It is so fascinating to me. But I actually think there's a couple of photos that I have that I didn't print out. I printed out 4. Yeah, this is all about foreshortening. It's going to be a funny thing. Good challenge, though. Do you want to check in before we go and get some feedback? You're always welcome to text me as well.
I've been very slow.
Yeah, I'm very, very slow.
I'm just trying another practice. I mean, this is all I've gotten. Trying to think of
That's a great building.
Getting that color, so that I can just inverse it, put black on the color.
I quite like that it's just a swatch of green and he's in there. Like, this is an option for you, Stacey, is that actually works the way it is, like that it's just pools of color. It, the gray to the green to the, and then if you just let it be a little yellow ochre. I think yellow will warm it up just slightly. Like
the green color, or
yeah, there's something orange in your first drawing that I think really made sense.
Oh, okay.
Just warmed it up. But like, I actually like that little just blob of green and then the creature in there, like just as it is.
And I think instead of trying to do a person, just do the cross in his name.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that too.
So,
yeah.
And I got to figure out this, maybe making the cross bigger so it goes in front of the house, kind of like the picture.
I would connect it to the house, right? Like, it's just all connected. Like, you could even just have these things coming out of the roof of the house. Like, they can be part of it. It doesn't have to be weird so much. So now what I'd love to see is when you do this again, like, set yourself up with all the tools that you've been like, okay, these are going to work, to put in the same spirit that you did with the cathedral into the other things, so that it's very loosey and don't worry about the edges so much.
Okay.
And because the house and those things are, because you're thinking about them, they're getting a little bit tight. So you thought about them, you did it in your sketch. So when you go to do it, just to really let go with yacht stroke, because that cathedral is spot on. Gorgeous. Gorgeous.
So maybe doing like, because what I liked about the house was the lines and the orange shutters. So maybe just lines and orange shutters. I don't have to color it all in.
Yeah, you don't have to color it all in. You could also come in now with a white gel pen or a white pencil crayon and just like scribble into it. And when we were looking at some of the examples last week, I think it was Kurt Jackson, or it was the artist right before Kurt Jackson, who he had erased back in the house. Like, there was a house down the road.
Okay.
And he had erased and scribbled, and it was about those edges. It was about something that he saw in that house, but he also took some away. And so I just think that the balance of that composition is just to keep that house a bit more open. And Germany is old, rough it up,
Right. Okay.
But that cathedral, girl, that line work, and your angles, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm not good with buildings, and then this one is in such a angle, and I'm like,
But you are good with buildings. Say it, please. I want to hear it.
fantastic with buildings.
They're a challenge, absolutely, but you got that. So you are good with buildings. And yeah, and I mean, I think doing it a couple of times, maybe you've got something there with the process of bringing something into bringing a photo into Procreate, using your using an Apple Pen.
Yeah.
Yeah, using the pen, getting the sense of things, and then going to your sketchbook. I think that's a wonderful potential process for you for architecture, because it gives you an opportunity to really, it's not it is tracing, but it is in a different way. And obviously you're very good at mocking things up in layers and Procreate. So I would continue to use that.
Okay.
I have to go find my Apple Pen. I can't believe it's one of the, because they're not cheap, right? And I think I've already lost one, or I think Jack lost it. I'm not blaming him, but it's one of those things where I'm like, I don't use it enough, and then I'm misplacing it. It's not good. Alec, do you want to check in before we go, just to share?
Yeah, I'm very slow too.
But you are. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
And that you use the sun in the sky. I didn't quite get that from your sketches. That's really perfect. That's perfect. Yeah. Okay. Well, you're doing good. Keep playing with those variegated lines, keeping it simple. It's wonderful. Follow up with me, please. Go eat lunch though, Stacey.
Yes, I will this time.
And text me, and I'd love to put together, if this is something we could do, just for even Christine and Naomi and Heather, who have not joined us the last 2 classes, that if everyone could just give me one, whether it's a sketch or a final piece, so that I have something I could do a little collage to send out to the group and say, here's what is possible and what we did with this idea and this concept.
All right. I'm going to get it.
This is a good challenge. 9
tomorrow. Do that. Keep my momentum going.
Okay.
Yeah, keep it going.
All right. Bye. Have a great day.
And I'll be in touch. And thank you.
All right.